So we'll go ahead and get started, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. I didn't do my homework on times. I thought church ended right at 12, so we probably won't meet this late in the future. But thank you all for hanging in there with me and being here before 12:30, even though the meeting was scheduled for 12:30. So looks like we have everyone here, and I'm so thankful that you all are here. But if you don't mind, so we don't have a ton of time, so we're not going to take a lot of time to do this. So starting right here, if you guys will humor me a little bit, if everybody doesn't mind going around the circle and just telling everybody your name. So you mind if we start here? You are?
Jim Ruberg. I'm here mostly for my wife Becky, who's with the grandkids on the West Coast right now.
Okay. Awesome.
Paul Zhao.
Jody Zhao.
Okay.
Bob Brooks.
Okay. Start with you.
John Bono.
Okay.
Morning, Hanson.
Craig Smith.
Jenny Rogers. Paige Ringer. Ashley Sullivan. Bridget Smith.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad all you are here. We've got some brand new timers, and we've got some that have been in a while. We have some who are here for other people. I just wanted to at least get names. Oh, yeah, sorry.
My bad. Pardon.
Hi, Ed. Gotcha. Ed has so graciously agreed to do the PowerPoint, to hit the buttons for me today, and do all that. So anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. If you don't mind, we'll pray, and then we'll get started with some information. Father, thank you so much for what is a gorgeous day. And God, as I look at this back window, I'm just thankful for your creation and for the goodness that you put all around us. Not only thankful for what you allow us to see and feel, smell, and all the wonderful things. I really, really am grateful that you allow us to serve you and that you love us enough to just let us help you. I mean, how amazing is that? You don't need it, but you let us, and we're so grateful for that. And you give us this stewardship. And Father, I just pray today that you would speak clearly through me, that you would, Father, allow us to delineate information, Father, clearly and effectively. God, I just pray for everyone's heart in here that they would find maybe a seat on the bus that would be a great place for them to fit. I also pray if maybe they're just here finding out information that they would learn something new about Harmony. And God, I just pray for every single individual, regardless of where they're from or where they're coming from. I just pray that you would have something in this meeting for them. And all those that aren't with us, that will be watching this on video, please help me to speak to them as well. God, we just thank you. We know that you love us, that you made us, and that you want to be with us forever. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Anyway, thank you guys. So before we get started, like I always like to say, I like to just put a little buffer. This is mainly an informational meeting, and I'm trying to knock out two birds with one stone, okay? And that's really hard. I grew up in the sticks, and I tried it before. I never accomplished it, okay? But basically what we're trying to do is we have some leaders who are coming in, okay? You guys have never worked in a ministry that I have been gifted authority over. So this is information for you guys as well as those who may be interested in learning more about student ministry. I'm hoping this information, and as I was praying and thinking through it, I think this information is going to cross over a lot. I think it will help as you pray through and think through what this next year looks like. I hope it gives you some language to be able to think over that, pray over that, and look into that. So today is really important, and it's just an interest meeting. So let's go ahead and pull up the first slide here. All right? So before we dive in to what's in this, I really want us to take out the second sheet of paper that you got. It's Harmony Student Ministry on a page. Okay, I really, really want to cover this. And so, Ed, you will be off the button duties for just a little bit. I'll let you know when we're on to the next slide. But for right now, I really, really want to cover this. This is going to be, I don't know a better word for it, but we're going to weaponize this, okay? This is going to be put on, at the top it'll say Harmony Student Ministry on a page. That's this one. The other one has a different title. So this is raw form. This hasn't been touched by Micah yet, but it is currently being formed into something that we as a student ministry are going to weaponize. It'll be at the front desk. It'll be everywhere in Burlington's campus because this is the first year we're existing as kind of a non-volunteer ministry, the first year that there's actually a staff person kind of full-time focused on this position. You know, it is kind of, there is more expectation for communication concerning this ministry. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this everywhere. Why? This is pretty well straightforward what we do. So at the end, when I created this, I did not have the times. The times will be added to this. But if anybody comes in and they say, what do I need to know about student ministry? they will get a card that will have this, bam, this is what they need to know about student ministry. They can look at this and pretty much have a 30,000-foot view of what we do as a ministry. So this is really, really important to know. This is really, really good. This is a tool in your back pocket when you're talking to students, and it probably won't look too different as far as maybe a little bit different language than what you're used to. So the first thing is mission statement. Mission statement. Harmony Student Ministry exists to bring glory to God by being disciples and making disciples of Jesus Christ. Does anybody recognize that from anywhere else? It's Harmony's mission statement, right? I just put Harmony Student Ministry in front of it because we are here at Harmony. We are part of Harmony. We are part of what God is doing through this local church. So our mission is going to be the exact same as Harmony's. And there's 2 points of that: being disciples, developing ourselves, and making disciples, reaching people with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and to train them in the full counsel of Scripture. The next thing you see there, our theme for this year is going to be integrity. I'm not going to talk about that a ton now. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That is going to be our theme throughout the year for students, for leadership, for everybody. I'll choose one word a year, and we're going to really dive into what that word means. And when you start out in student ministry, starting out from the base, it's really, really important that you have really high levels of integrity. So number 2, who we are. If you look at this page, some of you all have heard this already. This is my equation for discipleship. I heard someone say at a big conference one day, you can't make an equation for discipleship, and I said, challenge accepted. Okay, so I tried, and really all this is a tool. But when we say disciple, we need to have some language around what that means, because we have to be able to describe it at some level. Yeah, we're going to fall short. Yeah, nothing's going to be perfect, but this is our best thing. And as you can see, this is equation. Know plus grow equals show. Common sense. Know is the basic gospel. We got to know God. We got to know that we're separated from Him, and we have to know that others need Jesus as well. There's the gospel in a nutshell, right? And we need God to save us from our sins. That's the know part. Grow part, we need to grow in our relationships with God, ourselves, and others. We need to grow in knowledge with God, ourselves, and others. And we need to grow in wisdom towards God, ourselves, and others. Which basically means we're learning not what is right and wrong. Wisdom is what is helpful and what is not helpful. Because even the right thing said in the wrong way at the wrong time is always the wrong thing. So, wisdom helps us determine what is helpful, what is unhelpful. We grow in that. And then if we're doing that, if we're knowing, we're growing, we will be showing in service to God, ourselves, and others, in pursuit of God, ourselves, and others, and in health, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We will show health. Okay? So this basically, the big point of this is this is a tool. Okay? I use it to diagnose situations. A lot of time with students, we look over here on the show part, hey, they're not like pursuing spiritual health. They're not with God. They're not sitting in silence and solitude with God. They lack spiritual health, and we want to say, hey, here's a program, try this. But what is probably happening is there may be a relationship with God that's been broken, a relationship with themselves. They don't understand what's going on with them. Something's going on behind that to cause that. Does that make sense? So this is more of a tool than it is anything else. Moving on, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. These are really important because they just give us a definition to talk about our events and how our events are going to be effective. Okay? Level 1 is come and see. Simple as that. Students are invited to come and see. There is no gospel presentation. There is none of that. Jesus did this all the time, right? With his disciples. They just hung out. We call it fellowship, right? That's the Christian word for it, right? So we call this fellowship. We just come and see. And we invite people into that bubble. How we love each other. How we care for each other. Really speaking with our actions. This is really important. And a lot of people's first step towards Jesus starts here. Second thing, come in here. Specifically programmed to tell people about Jesus. So if we have an event, on the calendar you'll see stuff like Black Light Dodgeball. You'll see stuff like all these other crazy events. Those are level 2 events. We are doing stuff here at the church to get people who don't know Jesus to come here at the church so they can come and see, but mainly they can come and hear. Okay, they can come and hear about Jesus. We are going to verbally express the gospel at a level 2 event. Level 3 is come and grow. Okay, or come and know. They kind of go together. Basically, this is small groups. Okay, this has a lot to do with our Sunday nights that we're going to be doing every night. This is really focused on come in, you're going to hear something. This is going to help you grow in relationship with God, in knowledge of God. We're doing the grow part. That's a level 3. Level 4 is go and show. Student leadership, adult leadership, mission trip. Okay? That is what those things are. It's our opportunity so we don't become so full and our heads become big and our tummies become big because we've ate so much meat, we've taken in so many nutrients that we've just gotten massive and it's kind of out of control. We are using those gifts. And as you can see, this is the logical progression, very much in line with Jesus' ministry and what he did. This is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So we can effectively talk about that as leadership and as a ministry. And, we're not speaking Greek. People can understand and grasp kind of what we're talking about. So, for instance, you may have an event. People may say, what's summer camp about? Well, summer camp is a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 event all in one. Right? Okay, Chad, why are you doing those the Blacklight Dodgeball? Well, we're doing a level 2. We're telling people about Jesus. Does that make sense? So we can talk about this, and it makes sense. And it also helps us keep things balanced. What's up, man? So it's also really going to help us keep things balanced, keep things where they need to be and without too much craziness. If you look below there, this is how we do it. Sunday gathering and small groups. Of course, that's on Sunday night. Next thing is the monthly happening, which is what I was talking about. Blacklight Dodgeball. We'll have fiesta. We'll have all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. But those are made there. And the last two cornerstone events, D-Now, Winter Retreat. Then we have, of course, camp. And then we have missions trips. Those are the big, high-view things that kind of rule the calendar, take a lot of time, and all that good stuff. And at the very bottom, you see student and adult leadership. Okay? That is our main level 4 thing where we're encouraging students and adults to serve the body of Christ through leading in a ministry. Okay? So I wanted to show you that just so you have your eyes on that, just so you can be thinking about any questions or anything that you have. But that is just a clarity sheet so someone can get a really, really good feel for what we do as a student ministry as soon as they walk in the door. Okay? Then the second thing is what I want to talk with you guys about today. This is the main thrust of what we're talking about. That is going to be this right here. Okay? You will notice that this is Student Ministry Adult Leadership, or SMAL. Okay? Small. Okay? We have HSL, Harmony Student Leadership. That'll be later on. And this is SMAL to make sure that we keep them separate. Okay? So they're quite different acronyms on purpose. Basically what this is and what I want to do with this today, and I ask if you hear anything other than this today, this is not on my intention. What I want to share with you today is this is all very clearly and very delineated, okay? A list of expectations, time, okay? Clarity around what does it mean to do X, what does it mean to do Y. This is basically here so you can know before you hop onto position and say, hey, fill me in, I'm going to jump in. This is to create clarity and hopefully to create really clear communication so that you can know what you're getting yourself into. I find it a little unfair, and I've been in situations where it's been like, hey man, you're a small group leader. Oh cool, what's the commitment? We just have to prepare for the small group lesson, and then you got to show up and hang out with the kids. Great. And then you go to the first leaders meeting, and you didn't know you had to do that, right? And then all of a sudden after that, you find out they want you to hang out with the students outside of that on a monthly basis, and they never mentioned that, and all this kind of other stuff. So I just want to be honest. That's all this is. This will be very clearly, they won't be perfect probably, but as clear as I can say it, what to expect from each position, how you can get involved, and all those good things. Does that make sense? At least a little bit? Okay. Okay, awesome. So as you can see there, our mission is a little bit different this time. Okay, because it's specifically Harmony's mission statement interpreted for this context. And it's this. Harmony Bible Church, or as it should say, this is my bad, student ministry adult leadership exists to bring glory to God by being emotionally healthy disciples and making disciples of Jesus through loving, serving, and equipping adolescents. Okay? Here we are student ministry. All right? Adolescents are our jam. So one of the really important things that they've hired me for is due to a developmental stage, okay, called autonomy versus role confusion. It is really important that students have a focused ministry for them because they're different than adults, right? Children are different than adults. They need their ministry. They need some people to shepherd them in the way they need to shepherd. They need certain things that adults may already have fulfilled. There's just different needs, there's different thoughts, there's a different way of thinking, there's a different way of doing ministry to reach and effectively disciple these students. And so there's two things in there you need to hear. Number one is the emotionally healthy disciples. Now, you may not know this about me. I've probably mentioned it before. I am a big proponent of an organization called Emotionally Healthy Discipleship. All it is, this is their phrase. You cannot be spiritually healthy and be emotionally infant. You have to be emotionally developed. Jesus was very much in control of his anger. Scripture teaches us that we have to lay things at Jesus' feet. We have to be in control of ourselves. We must know ourselves in order to know God. Proverbs, right? There's all these things in the Scripture that make it very important to see that we must be, this new buzzword, if you're in the marketplace anywhere, you've probably heard it, emotionally healthy to truly understand Jesus. But this is really, at the end of the day, what they're about. They're just about making fully functional followers of Jesus Christ. And they have done a very good job developing a system that does that. And so I really, really like their system. We will probably be learning a lot about their language. We will be going through a lot of their stuff. And at the end of the day, it is to make us better leaders of adolescence. But the emotionally healthy part is highly important. Because basically what it's saying is we're going to commit. We're going to commit to growing. That's, at the end of the day, what emotionally healthy means. We're constantly going to learn more about God, ourselves, and others. And we're constantly going to grow in our relationships, our knowledge, and our wisdom in order to have those other things line up. In other words, it's vastly more important who you are than what you do. Because what you do is determined by who you are. Okay? So we want to become emotionally healthy disciples. Okay? Making disciples of Jesus through loving. Notice I put that first on purpose. Loving, serving, and equipping adolescents. I already explained the adolescence part. We love adolescents because, number one, adolescents do not care how much you know unless they know how much you care. They can care less. They are unique in this. They have to know that you love them. They have to know that you care about them. They have to know that you're going to be there. They have to know that you're a safe spot. Doesn't mean you tell them what they want to hear, but they have to know they can come to you. You're not going to freak out. You're going to help them. Okay? They have to know. They have to know that you love them. Then we can serve them. Because let's be honest, the definition of serving in Jesus' language is to do all those helpful things, but it's also to teach them the entire contents of what Jesus taught us, right? That's making a disciple. All right? Next thing, equipping. As you saw there, I mentioned on the last page, student leadership. There's a lot of things that go on within student leadership, and they will do a lot of things that the adult leadership is doing as well. I believe that students who own ministry own their faith. I'm a product of that. Okay? I'm a millennial. I am not supposed to be here according to statistics, but I am because I had a youth pastor who made me own my faith because I owned my ministry. And I got it. Okay? This is big to me. You'll hear me talk about it a lot. I'm not a daycare for adolescents. Okay? I'm here as a young man who's been equipped with the gospel to train young men and women and to help adult leaders serve students. That's why I'm here. Okay? That's what we're here for. Next thing. Let's talk about integrity. Integrity, you always hear this word and you're like, yeah, I have integrity. And most of us, yeah, we're going to be pretty integral people. But the school system sold us short. Starting way, way back, I think it was in the 80s, they came up with this definition of integrity is who you are when no one's watching. Yeah, that's incredibly incomplete. That's incredibly incomplete. Spiritually, we are called to have integrity. And here's the deal. The reason integrity is our word, because as we're building up, we have to start with integrity or we'll lose it. We'll never have it. So we have to start there. It's so important. It's the first step on us, for us to all be honest with ourselves, us to be emotionally healthy, one thing called facing your shadow, looking at the parts of you that aren't that pretty, that aren't that great, that can trouble people, and being honest about that, and developing integrity. Integrity is this. You are inside what you are outside. Okay? This is so hard for us to do as Americans. Because if someone asks you how you're doing, what's the socially acceptable response? Fine, great, we're programmed to cover it up. It's actually hard to have integrity, right? Now, it doesn't, I mean, we have to live within social boundaries. You know, someone comes up to you and you don't know them that well, and they're like, "How you doing?" "Well, my grandma died, and I've really, really been thinking that I don't like cheeseburgers anymore." And it's like there's a certain amount that's there, but we also have to realize like there's a certain amount of integrity that we need to have with how we present ourselves, right? So, first thing is we truly are inside what we're facing outside. We are not behavior modification. Most of us do that. I do that. Where my behavior is modified, I've been taught that my whole life. My behavior is modified, but may not be what's really going on inside of me. That's why sexual sin is rampant in the church. Because we're not who we are inside, it's who we are on the outside. We have to be that person. I care, and I'll say it again and again, about everyone in this room. I love you for you. I like you for you. I care far more about who you are and what you do. Every day. Trumps it. Every day. Okay? Next thing. You do what you ask others to do. So in student ministry, I played this game. This is the pot calling the kettle black all day, okay? I did this 1,000 times. My relationship, not quiet time, my relationship, which is what your quiet time's there for, was not where it needed to be with Jesus. My relationship with him was not where it was. And I was trying to lead students into this relationship. I didn't have it. I wasn't giving it away. I was forcing something that I didn't have. Now, did I check off the box and have a quiet time every day? Yeah. But I didn't have integrity. My relationship was shoddy at best. We were like occasional phone conversations. I would just read scripture and then I'd pray. Pretty standard prayer every day. There was no silence. There was no wrestling. There was no nothing. There was no relationship. So I had to learn. I have to do what I ask others to do. I have to do that first. I have to give it away, or else I will completely dry up. It's who you are. Vastly more important than what you do. You can only give away what you already possess. Okay? This is highly important. Goes right along with what I just said. Something I learned the really hard way. If I am living out of a checklist faith where I have my quiet time and I go to church and I do a nice thing for my wife and I do these things and it's a checklist, I am but a Pharisee because I'm just keeping a bunch of rules. Sounds good, looks great on the outside, but my gosh, how empty is that? You see, the hard part that he makes it pretty clear that we have to give away what we already possess. And we have to be so careful with that. Your being with Jesus is vastly more important than your doing for Jesus. Because we can't do more than we're being, or we get burnt out, we get angry, all this kind of stuff. Jesus has to do a work in us before he'll do a work through us every time. All right, so that's our theme for this year. I want you to know that up front. That's what we're going to be working on as a team, is we're going to be pushing toward integrity. Because if we start there, we're good for the long haul, right? But we got to start there. We got to make that our cornerstone thing, that we are who we say we are. We're doing what we're saying we're doing. We're taking our breaks. We're doing our rest. We're doing everything that we're trying to teach these students to do. Not perfectly, because we ain't Jesus, right? But we're wrestling. We're trying. We're really trying to do this. All right, next slide. Levels of commitment. All right, we're going to dive right into this, and this will be our next thing that we talk about. I really, really want to share this with you guys because this is high level, really important. This was that clarity that I was talking with you about. So I have 5 levels of commitment. Okay, once you're in the leadership structure, it's the 5 levels of leadership because everybody has leadership. Leadership is defined by influence. How do you get greater leadership? You get greater influence. Okay, so the levels of commitment, levels of influence, levels of leadership. Okay, so let's talk about these really quick. Level 1 is a helper. Okay, quick definition: they really don't hold any true leadership as we would define that in the church, right? I didn't put quotations around it, but they're not really developing a team. They're not really. A level 1 is a helper. And so they are a person who does something. So they're a person who can bring food on Sunday nights. They're a person who can show up and help us with events. All right, this isn't a bad position. This is someone who's just being honest and may say, hey, life's really busy right now. How can I help you out? Well, we have a level 1 commitment. Can I just put you on a phone list if we need some food, if we need some event help? Does that make sense? They kind of go on a list, and then they can help us, okay, kind of accomplish some of these tasks, right? They're a person that we can touch and that we can talk to. Number 2, level 2 is a word. All right, you see 2 words out from this: attendance and coachable. The determiner changes. They go from a person who does something to the person or one of the people who do something. Does that make sense? Does that little thing kind of give it a little bit of clarity? So this is a person who would probably be here twice a month, help us out maybe every day of the month. They might bring food every week for students. They might help us set up and tear down every week. They might help us with security every week, just be a watchdog, do that for us, kind of make sure everybody's where they need to be. They might do lots of different things, but it's not really, it's like a responsibility. They might help us out with tech. Does that kind of make sense? Like they have a responsibility, a role that they fill here, and we're going to expect them to do that. We're going to expect them to grow in that and learn more as they go, okay? So holds low level of leadership, not required to attend monthly meetings, but is expected to have regular attendance, 0.5 to 3 hours a week, just depending on what it is. But if there's 3 hours a week, that's probably happening here during the service or just before the service. So it's not like any prep or anything like that. It's just, it's basically just that's how long it'll take you to do everything. So let me pause here and explain this. When you see the time commitment, that includes everything. Prep time, meetings, all that stuff. That is the full amount of time I expect this to take a person. Okay? Or to be more transparent, what it would take me. Okay? To do it well. Okay? To do it halfway decent. The low end of the spectrum will be the halfway decent number, and the top end of the spectrum will be like you're sort of going for it. You probably need to jump up a level. You're getting kind of crazy over here, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about here. All right, on to the next one. Does that make sense? Any questions on those 2 levels? Next one here. Level 3. All right, here's the fun one. All right, you jump up and you get leadership, not over projects, but over people. Okay? That's why this is termed leader. Okay? Attendance, teaching, relationship. Okay? Those are 3 words that are really going to define a level 3 leader, because guess who is a part of this? Small group leaders. You must be at least a level 3 to be a small group leader. I'll explain as we go through this. Okay? Holds direct leadership over students or other adult leaders. You have a yearly training that you have to come to, which we'll tell you more about that later. You have a yearly training that you've got to come to. Then we have monthly meetings at this time, directly after church. I find that's the best for everybody. It won't be 12:30 again. It'll probably be 12. All right, we'll have you out of here by 1, and I'll feed you lunch. Okay, so you don't have to have lunch plans, and you can bring your kids. Okay, so we can just kind of get that all out of the way. We can do our training, and then I can get you guys back home so you can have a little bit of your Sunday evening. Okay? All right, so that will happen once a week, monthly trainings, and then pre-service share and prayer meetings. So, for any level 3, level 4, or as we'll talk about eventually, level 5, you are shepherding students, you are shepherding adults. So, in order to have integrity, I have to be shepherding you. This is non-negotiable, this is highly important. These meetings allow me to hear your heart, and they allow me to pray for you. It's just 30 minutes before service. I realize that student ministry makes it really hard to be a part of a growth group. This is our growth group opportunity, where we're sharing with each other. If you don't know growth groups, if you haven't been around Harmony for too long, I know that's been a little while since I talked about it. Growth groups are our small groups, okay? That's people getting together and doing life. This is a growth group where you can have someone taking care of you spiritually. Okay? That's my job, all right? I take that responsibility on with this position. So it allows me to hear you. It allows me to pray for you. It allows us to pray for each other. And it is a moment for us to pray for the service that's about to happen so we can go in focused and with integrity to what we're about to do. All right? The second thing here is level 4, oversight, trainer, and planner. All right? A level 4 is a coordinator. All right? This is a really important position. And this is where I actually need a lot of our help. Level 4s make this ministry run. I'll tell you guys a story. I was thought, are you guys familiar? I know a lot of who have been at Harmony maybe for a while. Has anybody heard, and just pop up your hand, of the vine and the trellis concept? Has anybody heard of this concept? So yeah, so the vine concept is people. Okay, when we look at church world, we have our trellis, which is what the vine grows on. It's these programs and things that we do. Okay, so you have trellis work. You have to build a good trellis for the people, the vine, to grow on, right? So you have to do trellis work and vine work. I thought initially coming here, vine work is what I would be doing. Be doing a lot of vine work because we're starting off. And then I looked at church community builder. And I really, really changed my mind and realized we had a lot of trellis work to do. Friends, sitting in our auditorium on a semi-weekly basis is 100 students. 100. 100. If we can reach it. Okay? We got to have a pretty good trellis, okay? Because this thing could blow up on us in a heartbeat, right? And the growth is there. Not to mention, I've done research. We are the only true student ministry in town. We're it. So not only do we have 100 students, we got a whole community with no student ministry. So we got to be ready, right? So I've been trying my hardest to develop this, trying my hardest to develop programs and things that I can now bring you all into. So we have a strong trellis because we might need one, okay? Because if this thing takes off the ground, it could get out of hand if we're not ready for it, right? So just trying to be wise and steward the time well. Really saw that happening. Level 4s make the ministry work. I can't do everything as much as I would like to do that, all right? My name is Chad, not Superman or Jesus, so I cannot do everything, okay? I wish I could. I really wish I could. Trust me, selfishly, it'd be great, but he is strong in my weakness, okay? But oversight, trainer, planner. This person holds direct leadership over an entire section of ministry. You'll see this as we go through, okay? This will be someone, like for instance, Becky she wants to be our tech coordinator. She's going to be over the tech booth. She's going to learn how to run everything. She's going to train people how to run everything. She's going to make sure that tech is ready to go every single week. That the students that are helping her, that the adults are helping her, are ready to go. All right? And then she will report to me and help me out. And I will be there to help to head that up. But she will be in charge of the tech ministry. All right? That's an example. Okay? So, assist with planning, training, and vision casting. You got to do the yearly training, the monthly meetings, and the pre-service, share and prayer meetings, and necessary leadership area meetings, okay? So this is, as you can see, a pretty high level of leadership. There'll be some expectation there. Again, 4 to 7 hours. You get kind of a jump up from the leader there. I know Becky's wonderful. She's doing a small group, and she's doing this, okay? These are 2 things she wants to be a part of. So, she may be looking at a little bit more than that time commitment, but this is basically what you would need to make the coordinator position happen by the time you talk about getting everything ready, prepping, being sure that everybody's contacted, the schedule, all that kind of stuff. A lot of administrative work as this person, but of course, as anything administrative, as you get good at it, it goes faster, okay? So I've had, 5 years of full-time ministry. I've had I counted it up, 35 level 4 coordinators, and they would tell you the same thing. They would tell you that once you get into it, it gets easier. It's a little overwhelming. It's drinking from a fire hose, but then you get in step, and guess what? It just clicks. And that will actually, for a lot of them, I had one guy. He was a leader in our military. I think he was a colonel, so he was a high-level leader in our military. Took him about 2 months, and then he literally had like 2 hours of work a week because he just had it down and did an amazing job for us. So it's one of those things. It's administrative, and there's a lot of empowerment given for you to lead that section of ministry. Okay? So assist with planning, of course, being a huge part of the ministry. There's a production person in here. I'm going to say, hey, here's the vision for what we're doing at the Fiesta this year, and here's what I want you to do. And then that person's going to say, they're going to go to the student leadership. They're going to meet together, and they're going to say, oh, yes, so we've got to have sombreros, and we need to have the streamers and the tassels, and I got to talk with the food coordinator, and we've got to get those things worked out. So this is a pretty high leadership. You got to be a part of planning, so it takes a little bit of time. That extra hour a week usually comes out in meetings with me and then meetings with students, okay? Because you have to meet with the students that will be underneath you and the adults in some cases. All right. So next slide here. So let's talk level 5. Yes, I've had 3 people be level 5s before. All right, I had a young lady who graduated from Southeastern Seminary with her Master's of Divinity in Discipleship. And so I said, you're a lot better at this than me. How would you like to run our small group ministry? And she goes, yes, please. Okay? And she did an awesome job. Okay? She was the administration behind it. She did all of the curriculum coordination, a lot like Renee Davis, if you know her, does here for Harmony, a lot of that kind of stuff. She did all that for us, made sure we were ready to go. You know, of course, I still did the vision casting and a lot of the training and stuff, but she did all of that. We had a young lady who was everything hospitality for us. She would come in. She was in charge of follow-up and all that kind of stuff, and did an amazing job. And then at the last church, Mr. James, he was our middle school director. Okay, he was actually level 5, and he was in charge of shepherding all of the middle school students. Okay, so this is an awesome thing. This is always snuck up on people. Okay, they'll be going, and I'll be like, man, like you're gifted, like you want to really do this thing? You want to be super involved? You want to use these gifts to the best of their ability? And that is this. It's a direct under shepherd. Okay, not an elder, not anything like that. But they're helping me shepherd the system, okay? They are shepherding something, okay? All right, next slide. All right, Sega, sounds cheesy, but it means something. You may be saying, okay, I don't know where I fit on this list. This is actually different for student leadership, but we take a Sega score. I know, right? Brings back memories from the early 90s, if anybody played video games then, right? So, all right, note this is a sliding scale. Any person may move up or down as life ebbs and flows. In other words, there is no problem if you say, hey, like I think I can do the level 4 thing, but I just ain't got time. Like I can just help you out a little bit. Well, let's talk about a level 2 position, right? So just common sense things like that. So here's the Sega score. These are the 4 things that we take in that are objectively subjective. Trying to be as objective as we can, okay? Here's the 4 things. Skills. What are your practical skills? Are you a receptionist for your job, which means you're really, really good at keeping up the paperwork, right? You're really, really good. You just have a knack. It's what you do. You can do it in 5 seconds. It's a skill that you have. Can you weld? Are you an electrician? You can use your protect. All that kind of stuff. That is a skill that you have learned, right? So those are really important when it comes to adult leadership. Next thing, emotional health. We already talked about that. Is this person reading the Bible? Is this person being with Jesus? How is this going? Because we may have a really, really successful person in our community come in here and say, I want to be a student leader, and the emotional health score is really low. You know, they're still an emotional infant. They haven't really grown in their relationship with Jesus. Vice versa, we could have a stay-at-home mom come in here, and she could be a rock star emotionally, health-wise. I am far more willing to equip. Does that make sense? Because she's going to be she's going to hold some leadership, and so we have to be able to trust that. And so it can work either way. It's just really important for us to take stock. Next thing, gifts. These are your God-given abilities. These are your things. Gifts are different than skills. I'm sure that makes sense to everybody, all right? Like I have developed the ability to kick a football. I can kick a football. I was not gifted with that, okay? And I'm still not very good at it, right? I worked at it for a really long time and developed a skill. You know, giftings are things that are a little bit different. Naturally, you think very linearly. You think you're really great at organizing stuff. Naturally, you're a big vision person. You can think of really cool stuff, okay? And it really helps us to place you in a position that you could be really good at. Maybe you're just great with people, okay? There's all kinds of natural gifts that we have. For instance, I am an introvert, okay? I can only do people so long before my wick starts getting, I don't get mean, I just get tired, right? So like, this is one of those things. I know that about myself, and so I have to be cognizant of availability. Okay, this is age in the student leadership and availability in the adult leadership. Let's just be honest. Okay, for us to have integrity in doing something, we have to be honest about our availability. So I've been with people who have said, yeah, I want to do the level 4 thing, and the first meeting we have, they don't show up. They're on vacation all the time. They're not able to be here, and they're in a position that is not developed to be flexible. Okay? I have to have them. So we just have to be honest about our availability. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a part of emotional health, is knowing our limits. We may have little kids. Okay, we have a lot of things going on that limit our ability to do these things. And so we just have to be honest about that. It's not evil, it's not bad, it does not make you a bad person. Okay? I know some people feel that way. Oh, I can't serve. Actually, that's another aspect of emotional health. Let's have integrity to embrace our limits and say, I am not being with God as much as I'm doing with God. So availability is huge. Okay? Even though I understand that may squeeze a little bit, you may have to reorganize your life a little bit, but I'm trying to be honest about what this will require. I don't want you to get into something that you're not going to be able to do. All right? So let's go move on to the next thing. Moving on. All right, two things we need to cover real quick. These are the areas of need, and here is our code to decrypt them, okay? As you read through these, I didn't want to make a ton of slides, so as we read through these, we'll be talking specifically by level, and then we'll be talking specifically area that we need people in, okay? If you see a red thing, okay, I perceive that to be an immediate need. We need a person to fill this position by the time we get started in September, okay? If you see a blue, this is an eventual position. But I want to put it in your brains now so you can be thinking about it, right? This is a little bit of vision casting for me, all right? You'll see a lot of these on the level 5 page. You'll see all of these on the level 5 page, okay? Green, position already filled. Some of you all have been absolutely wonderful and come up to me, here's my gifts, here's my abilities, and you've already filled a position for us. All right, which is awesome. Those will show up in green. I just want everybody to know so you can see that they're on this board and that they exist, okay? And the red asterisk, or any kind of asterisk. If you see it, there's a special training exception. Maybe it's a little more training than that level usually gets. Maybe it's a little less training than that level usually gets, okay? Does that make sense? Clear as mud? Awesome. All right. Level 1. Here's where I need level 1 help. So if you're sitting here and you're like, hey, I kind of want to test the waters, I just want to do a couple things, maybe a couple things a month, or you know somebody, this is a great way. This is perfect. Super low commitment, right? What they commit to, we expect, but super low commitment, right? They can get into it, they can do something for Jesus, and they can still get on with their lives. It's a very effective way for, I know we've had a ton of single moms fill the level 1 positions before, because they're like, my schedule's kind of all over the place. Like, I know I can carve you out one Sunday a month, and I'll give you help then, because my parents are coming in and all this other stuff. And they've been awesome. We've had a ton of single moms. We've also had a ton of really busy guys. So like leaders in positions that can come in and help us set up or tear down and then go home, like all that kind of stuff. Really great thing. But we need 2. For level 1, food supply. In other words, we are going to give students food. If I don't have to, I don't want to give them pizza. Okay? I want us to do everything with excellence now that I'm here. You have to be honest with excellence. You can only do as excellent as you can do. But now that I'm here, I would really, and I can organize it, and I can empower people to organize it, I'd really love to see the quality of that food go up. And so I'd love for moms and to do all that to be directly under a food coordinator. Whoever wants that job, I love you so much. Food coordinator to make all that happen every single week, and especially for events. And the second thing is event help. When we got a lot of students here, honestly, we just need a lot of warm bodies. And I hate to say it that way, but it's a great way, because I need someone watching that exit, and downstairs, because we're having kids that come here, right? So we get a little crazy. We need to make sure that they're safe. I need a guy to watch the cameras. You know, there's a lot of things like that. I need help setting up. Like, there's a lot of event help things that level 1 can feel perfectly. Level 2. All right. In red are the things that I really, really think we need. Number 1 is a small group assistant. Okay? Small group assistant is a person who is in a small group and they help. They can help organize things. They can help bring food. They can help do all of that. They can interject with opinion. This person probably would want to become eventually a small group leader, but I really, unless they have a lot of experience otherwise, I really, really like our small group leaders to at least have a semester with a seasoned small group leader just to see how things work around Harmony. Does that make sense? Just really to get the feel. That's really what we want. All right, so small group assistant, that's a level 2. Obviously no shepherding or no leadership really over that, but they are helping the small group leader accomplish what they need to. Set up. Oh my goodness. I need some level 2s with this, okay? This room has stuff happen in it during the week. It's kind of used. Setting up every week, getting the games ready, making sure everything's ready to go. we are going to be starting our evening, not up here, but downstairs in the lobby, because that's where the food stuff is. Okay? And it's really, really hard to bring all that up here, if we're just being honest. And so we'll start down there. I've already got Bo Brockett working on a place for us to stash our ping pong table and a foosball table that we're working on getting, and those will be rolled out into there. We'll make it a nice student space, but I need level 2 help that can be there every week to help me do that, okay? Number 3, food service. We need people here to serve food. Obviously, they need to be pretty reliable, and that needs to be the person or one of the people instead of a person, right? Food supply, it'd be great if someone was willing to get on a schedule and be food supply like every other week or something like that, or bring like one dish every week, something like that. It's going to be a huge thing. And here's a big one. You'll see the number 3. I need 3 security people. May not be anybody in this room, but if you know anybody who's interested, I need someone to keep their eyes on the camera and the front door while we're doing ministry. That's it. Just make sure we don't have any escapees, because there's only one way down, right, that they can access, because this door back here is locked. So there's only one way down that they can access. Just someone to watch that exit and someone to watch the cameras for 2 hours. I need 3 of them. That would be a huge help. It's absolutely necessary to keep us safe. All right? The final one. Small group leader in training. This is not a small group assistant. This is a person who truly wants to become a small group leader, but they've never done youth ministry. They've never done any of this stuff. And I don't know why the asterisk isn't showing up there, because they would be obviously required to attend training, right? So put a little asterisk there if you want to. All right, level 3. Small group leaders. We have a lot of wonderful small group leaders. Raise your hand if you're a small group leader in here. And we got Craig and Paul. Okay, awesome. And I know we have a couple more, okay? Thank you, guys. And how many was it? Raise your hands again so I can get at the official count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have Becky, which is 7. Well, I got Ed behind you. Yeah, you're good, Ryan. No, you're good. So that is 6. Okay, that's 7 small group leaders. I would really love to have 2 small group leaders per group for obvious reasons, for accountability. So we live in this world now, right, where a student can say anything and really stuff can blow up. It's really, really great if there's another person sitting right beside of you and they go, no, they never said that. Really helpful if that happens. So we want that if possible. So I think we need 3 to 4 more small group leaders would be fantastic. So we're looking for some small group leaders. Next thing you'll see there, just as a perceived need that I'd love to see us have, is high school campus leaders. I would love to have someone who can help me love on some of these high school campuses. I'm getting involved with Burlington. It'd be great to have someone at Nepo. It'd be great to have someone at West Burlington. It'd be great to have some people at these middle schools around here. It'd be a great help, because I'm sort of limited. I can really only do a good job if I'm doing one school at a time. And Burlington High is probably the biggest effect that we can have right now. So that's where I'll be. In the future, obviously you see it's not an immediate need. I just want to bring it up to get the gears turning. This would be a person committed to, honestly, the reason they're a leader is I need them in the meetings so they can bring the perspective. This may not even be 3 hours a week, okay? This may be just a person 2 hours a week connecting with the administration, connecting with the counseling, maybe running a Bible study on school campuses, that
I'm
kind of
already
stuff.
doing that.
What'd you say?
I'm already doing that, but it's for work, because I'm meeting with the schools, so we can start doing a career signing day.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, that may be, we'll definitely talk, for sure. It may be something really, really cool that we could get off the floor there. So the very, very last one here you'll see is camp, okay? We need camp retreat. We already have a mission trip admin. Becca Bailey has claimed that position for us, okay? She'll be getting us a true student mission trip, okay? We won't be a part of any of the other mission trips. This will be a true student mission trip focused on helping students bridge the gap between local area missions and international missions. We want them to have a heart for the world. We want them to see that the world needs Jesus Christ, and we have to mature them into that, because sometimes they just can't understand that. So we have to be functional, and we got to make that happen. All right. As you can see there, I need help administratively for camp. I need help administratively for our winter retreats. Okay? You'll see there should be an asterisk there. Okay? You don't have to do the monthly meetings. This is purely an administrative role. Super helpful, but it's purely an administrative role. So, you don't, unless you're part of something else, you don't have to be a part of those monthly That's really important to know on this, because I've had a lot of people who can't do student ministry otherwise, but they can rock some admin for us. So they do hold such a level of thing. I'd feel bad for calling that a level 2 position because it's so much work, but that's a special leadership session for them. Okay, level 4. All right, looks like Christmas. Okay, so we already have a tech coordinator. Told you about Becky. We already have someone helping us out with band, Miss Paige. All right, she's going to be helping us out with band. Okay, and then we have someone who'll be helping us out with the Maple Leaf, Mr. Paul, will be helping us work out with the Maple Leaf. That's a kind of a special position, but it holds a lot of value, and it's definitely worthy of the level 4 position because of the amount of work that it will take in developing relationships. Okay. So next thing, hospitality coordinator. Okay. These are the areas that we need. Hospitality coordinator, you're making it nice in here. As students walk in, what are they experiencing? You'll have student leaders under you out of the Embrace Ministry, we'll call it. That will be underneath you serving to help students who come in feel welcomed, like they're a part, like they're loved, okay? This is a really important ministry. This is our arms wide open. This is the arms of Jesus embracing the children as they come in the door, okay? This is a highly important ministry. It's really, really great if this person is really, really, they don't have to be a people person, but they're pretty driven. They can keep people on task. This is a great ministry for them because this isn't something we can take very lightly, right? This is really important. This is a first impressions ministry. It's highly important. Same thing, food coordinator. I love you, who's ever in that room and wants to do the food coordination, okay? You're my favorite person. This is not an easy job. Requires tons of administration, okay? It requires a little bit of an artistic eye too, because for our events, I'm going to look at the food coordinator. I'm going to say, friend, I will help you. I will serve you in whatever way I can, but here's our event, here's the vision for it. I need you to make the food happen, right? Here's the budget you have for it, all that kind of stuff, but then they make that happen as well as our week-to-week food, organizing people, all that kind of stuff. As you can imagine in student ministry, highly important position. And also, I'll go ahead and say this for these leaders meetings, this is the time I serve you, so no, you don't have to do food coordination for these. I do the food for these, okay? On purpose. All right? Next thing, production coordinator. All right? Production coordinator. Another highly important position. This person is making our weekly service happen. They're coordinating with the tech team. They're coordinating with the hospitality team. They're coordinating with our folks in the band. They're pulling everybody together. They're making sure the game goes off without a hitch. They're making sure that the stage people know when to come on and off, that they know when the transitions are. Okay, this person is got to be very administratively gifted and has to have a high emotional quotient because you got to be able to handle stress. Okay, but this is not something that you have to do a ton of outside work for. Okay, you got to look over the sheet, you got to study it, you got to make sure it's good. You may have to spend some time thinking on the game, preparing everybody for how to do that. However, okay, this is mainly a here thing. It's probably about an hour outside of here. It's mainly a here thing, but it's really important, and it requires some thick skin. Okay, so that is that. That is a highly important position that we need filled. Level 5, and then we'll open it up for some questions. Level 5, leader. These are all in blue. Okay, in a year to a year and a half. So by next summer, by next school year, I would love to have these 3 level 5s in place. I think they'll come from our church. They may be someone in this room. They may be someone outside of this room. But I think these people exist. Okay? Level 5 position is really important to make this ministry grow. James, the guy I told you about. When I was called out of my last church, was hired full-time to fill my shoes. He was a level 5. The girl I told you about that did our discipleship coordination, full-time job at that church. This is just sweet to me. This position, these positions are highly important to me. If I'm doing my job, shepherd, this should happen. This is my litmus test. At the end of the day, the year, if I'm doing my job right, we'll have one or two of these happen a year. Okay? These are super awesome positions. They require high gifting, but they're amazing. Okay? Number one is a middle school assistant. Let's face it, middle school and high schoolers are different. That's all the explanation we need. I need someone to run a middle school ministry. Can't keep them together forever. They have a ceiling, hardcore ceiling. Statistics prove it. Church history proves it. It's hard to argue with it. I've seen one person do it successfully out of thousands of student ministries I've witnessed. It's not a thing. They're different. They have different things. They need help with what they need help with. And so it's really good if we have a shepherd who can help shepherd them. Okay? Next thing, ladies ministry assistant. Obviously, this will be a lady. Okay? We need someone. I don't know if you noticed. I'm not feminine at all. Okay? Like I'm not a girl. Okay? We need someone to help our ladies. We need a practical model of older teaching, women teaching the younger women. I need someone to help me see through the eyes of our ladies and to understand them and to help them. I think in church history, the ladies have got the short end of the stick, and I don't want that to happen. This is a really important position, and I hope someone will end up filling it. Next thing, production ministry assistant. I love having fun. I love coming up with games. I love executing games. I love to see students eat nasty stuff. I love to see students get nasty stuff put on their face. Okay, I love it. I love it. It makes me so happy, all right? It's a lot of fun for me to see all that happen. And that's what student ministry is known for, right? However, when we're talking about the efficaciousness of my schedule, we are talking a huge chunk of my schedule to do that. I mean, probably 15 to 20 hours a week getting ready for the nuts and bolts of what's going on here. If we're going to do it good, you know, what's going on here on Sunday nights. So, something I don't like to give away, but I'd love to give away. Because that will free me up to shepherd. That'll free me up to be more involved in the schools. That'll free me up to serve you all well. Okay? The only reason I have any authority is to give it away to people who are equipped to handle it. Okay? I am to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. That's my job description in Ephesians 4:16. So if I'm not doing that, I need to go rethink my job and probably sell insurance. Okay? All right. Dates you need to know. Dates you need to know. Training, August 23 and August 24. If you're going to be a level 3 or a level 4, this is really important, but the other levels need to be there. All right? August 23, 7 to 9 p.m. For all levels, we're going to provide you dinner. Okay? This is for everybody. You need to come. I'm going to be talking top down more about specifically where we're going, teaching calendars, events. Going to be running through those. Going to be talking our DNA on that night. So everyone needs to be there. The second night is for all level 3 to 4 and higher, which is all we'll have is 3 to 4. I'm going to have snacks in the morning and lunch provided that day. We're going to go from August 24th, we're going to go from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's a morning to lunch. That's going to be all leadership-specific stuff. So we're going to start diving into emotionally healthy stuff. We're going to start diving into what I think a successful small group looks like. We're going to start diving into our small group seasons and rhythms, okay? Highly, highly important. Next thing you need to know. Okay. Levels 2 and above. We are doing a student ministry rehearsal service August 25th. I didn't know how to get around this any other way. It may be a little awkward, but we need a service walkthrough because we've never done a service together, right? So we need this to kind of break the ice to help us get ready for the thing that's happening on September 8th. I didn't want to put you in another meeting. I don't see any other way for us to do it and have integrity about doing it unless we do it this way. So 6:30, 6 to 7:30. Not going to keep you the whole time. We're going to cover the high notes, but we need to run through a service together to make sure that we're cranking on the same cylinders. It's going to be highly important. You can ask all the questions. I want you out of here at 7:30. I'll be honest with you, though. For some of us, it may take us a little later, so just know my heart behind that, because we want to be sure that we're ready to go. Okay, that's the important part. We're providing something excellent for these students. I'm also sorry, just so you know, next year, this will not be happening in August. This will be happening in April and May, okay? Before summer hits off, so we're ready to go when we come back, okay? It's just because everything's so condensed. I'm sorry I'm having to drop all this on you at the last second. Okay, last part. First night of service. I don't know why I said September 28th, because it's definitely September 8th, so please mark through that if that's on your thing. All right, September 8th. September 8th. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give these out. These are strips of paper. I know, mind-boggling, right? So these are little strips of paper. Basically, all that's on here, there's pens over here if you need them. As we kind of sum it up for questions here, if you hear anything that enters your ear, if you hear anything that you want more information on, if you have any ideas, this is where you can put them. I just want to get everybody's info, so Craig Smith can get the emails, okay? No, but I want to get everybody's info so I can do it. Yes, I do. Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, awesome. So yeah, just write your name, and when you leave, you can just leave those on the table, okay? I'll pick them up, I'll collate them this week, and I'll be in contact with you this week or into next week because there's a lot of you guys, and we want to be sure that I get a conversation with all of you. But yeah, just fill that out. So before we end today, okay, are there any questions as we end? Anybody got questions? Anybody got comments?
Between now and kickoff, how much promotion have we done? One of our areas where we lack forming the body, that we even exist. Here, we're ready to go, people are welcome. So I'd like to know how much structured communication, how it's being done, so we can let all the families know we're ready to go.
That is a great question, Craig. And I think you all need to know. So, met with Micah on Thursday for about 45 minutes, and we hashed this out. We're going to start, I can't remember if it's this week or next week. I think it's as in this coming Sunday or the next Sunday after that. I think it's that Sunday. We're going to be advertising all of this stuff, okay? She is making that weaponized high-level paper that I talked about, the student ministry on a page, and you all are going to like this. There is a student ministry one-year calendar that I was going to print out until the printer broke this morning for you guys to have in your hands, okay? But I will get that to you with this information. I'm going to email it to you so you can look at it. That calendar is going to be printed off on August the 18th, and we are going to develop our own little mission field with that, okay? I'm getting literally 2,000 copies printed. So you can take some, you can give them to your friends. Even if they don't have kids, give them one. I don't care, right? We just need, we are carpet bombing Burlington with these things, okay? Those calendars tell people what we do, how we do it, when we do it, and how they need to get there, okay? All the important stuff to invite a person is contained in that calendar, and the reason I like the calendar is because I've had story after story of doing these calendars, of students going, you know, I didn't come for the first semester, but then when I was fiddling through such and such, I saw the calendar and was like, I should come. And parents do the exact same story. So these are an awesome tool, and this is the reason I carpet bomb the whole community with them, is because I think it's really, really important. So, number one, you're getting the high level, when a visitor walks in, they will receive the student ministry on a page flyer, so they can see what our student ministry is about. Second thing they will receive is a calendar. Okay? That calendar letting them know, here's when our student ministry events are. It's got all the weeks that we're meeting. It's got all the weeks that we're not meeting, all the way through June. Okay? So this is to help them, okay, see when we're meeting. They can be here. They can be on time. They can do all of that. So they have that up front, foundation of communication. That is what we're getting, and hopefully we saturate this place with it. Number two, Micah has not fully developed the schedule yet, but I will be getting on stage and giving announcements about student ministry as well. Okay? So I will be doing that. Often, I forgot what she said. I think she's fitting it in with the rest of the stuff to make sure that we have. So the problem with doing it every week, as you guys know, if it's lumped in with other stuff, it just becomes noise. You know? So she's trying to make sure we have some clear weeks where we can clearly delineate it from stage and get it into people's heads that it is happening. So you got the calendars, you got that. And here's the third part I'm going to ask you guys to help me with, and this is why I'm so glad Craig asked the question. I am working on social media pages, all right? Facebook for parents, Instagram for students. Hopefully sometime in the future we'll have a Snapchat for students. I don't know how to Snapchat. Okay, I don't. I tried to figure it out, and I'm not cool enough.
We've
That's
got some resources through your life church with builders and whatnot.
You guys have an awesome Snapchat.
There's some stuff that I can actually help you with on that too.
Oh, so good to hear, friend. Thank you for that, Bridget. I'll definitely be talking with you about that because we need help because I am about social media literate as a donkey. I've studied it. I don't understand it. I've tried. Been successful, but it's not really my thing. So that would be awesome. Yes.
I'm going to school for social media marketing.
What? Totally. God is so good. Guys, I've literally been on my knees about this because this is just not my strength. So it is awesome to hear you guys do. I've done it in a vacuum when I've had to, but it's really, really great if we have good people. So thank you guys so much for bringing that up. So social media, we'll be blasting that out so that we can get people interested in it and hopefully get some parents. I haven't put anything on the Facebook. We already have 40 followers. So that happened. I'm not sure how, and they're Harmony people, okay? So that's great. We're going to be doing that. I think parents are very interested in the Facebook part, and the students will be. So you know what I'm thinking. Facebook's going to be pretty well parents because no students are on Facebook. Let's just be real, okay? Like 0.2%, okay, are on Facebook, okay? Then Instagram is going to be focused on students, so it's going to be more relatable. We will hopefully be posting 2 or 3 stories a week, hopefully be posting every day during the week, all that kind of stuff. So, yes, does that help answer the question?
Yeah, I just think it needs to be done.
Yes.
So, get launched off, we're gonna start.
Heard. On that note, launching. We'll go ahead and mention that. As far as launching goes, I've often learned that you keep them with what you reach them with. And so events are purposeful in student ministry, and we have to do them. I think non-event student ministries are stagnant student ministries because students like to have fun, right? It's part of where they are. So we need to have that. It also provides a great opportunity for them to share Christ. But I don't want that to be the majority of what we do. That's why that's once a month. The majority of what we're doing, 3 out of 4 weeks a month, is going to be, we're going to have fun. We're going to play a game. I'm probably going to, hit some kid in the face with an egg. It's going to be great, okay? But we're doing that. But the main thrust of what we're doing every week is discipleship. We're going to have a 20-minute, prayed out, fought over sermon lesson that I will be teaching, an elder will be teaching, or someone with knowledge on the subject I'll be interviewing, and then we'll be discussing that in small groups to help it stick, okay? So you reach them with what you teach them with. So for launch, we're going to have a normal service. It may be tuned up just a little bit. We'll have some fun stuff, okay? On our rehearsal service, we'll talk through some of that. But we're not going to do anything absolutely crazy because even just bringing this service to a high level is going to look insane, right? Like taking it up 6 or 7 notches is going to make it seem kind of crazy. So with that said, does that make sense? So we kind of want to kick it off with kind of the meat and potatoes of what we're doing. So yeah. Any other questions? Anything at all? All right, people listening on YouTube, I'm going to pause you.